So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about what you guys need to know for this intraday update, everything AMC. There is something that is happening today that could move AMC a lot, potentially to the upside or potentially to the downside. There is a lot of downside risk still associated with AMC because of the overall market, because as we do know, negative beta does not apply to times of uncertainty and volatility in the overall markets. If the markets sell off, AMC is likely to sell off. If the markets start to rip up, AMC is likely to rip up. So what we're going to mainly go over in this video is going to be a potentially positive thing for AMC, but like I said, could have some downside. Let's also go over the short interest, the stock O tracker data, as well as what is going on AMC's Twitter page. Also, let's end this video with some technical analysis. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into this video, guys. And first things first, let's just go over what is happening with AMC today. Down 0.84%. We were actually positive for the day, around 2 to 3% at times today, hitting $38.26, now down to $36.69. A lot of this is revolving around the overall markets. They were up a lot more at one point during the day. Now they are starting to slip down a little bit more, at least the Nasdaq, and that is really what AMC tends to follow. So that is really why AMC is just selling off now a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of bounce right now, but we could come down a little bit more until this thing that I'm talking about is actually set in stone, whether it's going to push us to the upside or the downside. Now, what I am exactly talking about is the Senate may vote Wednesday on bill to prevent a government shutdown as deadline approaches. We're just going to read the key points. The Senate could vote as soon as Wednesday on a bill that would prevent a government shutdown, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said. The legislation would fund the government into early December and provide money for hurricane relief and Afghan refugee resettlement, he said. Congress has to pass a funding bill before midnight Thursday to avoid a shutdown. Lawmakers will have to separately raise the U.S. debt ceiling before October 18th to prevent a first ever default. And that is what is really weighing on the market, is the U.S. debt ceiling, and they have to pass this before October 18th. But why I say this could be seen as a positive thing for the markets or potentially a very negative thing if they don't fund the government, it's not because the stock market cares if the government shuts down or not, right? They really don't care. The stock market over the last 18 shutdowns has had a pretty much a 0% return. So it would pretty much be, as history has showed us, just business as usual in the stock markets. They wouldn't care. What investors care about is the U.S. debt ceiling, but what is really causing the fear is Congress uncertainty. We don't know if they're going to be able to agree on a lot of these things to actually pass them and implement them to fund the government as well as the debt ceiling. But if they can keep the government open, fund the government, I think that will give investors a lot of confidence that they will be able to reach an agreement on the U.S. debt ceiling by October 18th. So I think it'll really die down a little bit of these fears, give AMC a big boost to the upside as well as the overall markets. If this does get shut down, it could be a very bad thing for the market. So I don't want to make this seem so good and so bad at the same time for AMC or the markets. It could go either way. So that is what I expect, and it does not specify when they will actually be voting on this, but I do imagine it will be here in the early afternoon, probably about 2 to 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is what you guys need to know. That is really what I'm going to be watching for. It's going to be the biggest thing that is going to influence AMC's share price. Now, a lot of other very important things is going to be revolving around the Ortex data. We have been talking about that. I do estimate the short interest will go in between 21 and 22%. Now we are right on 21% short interest percentage of free float. So there is a bit of a silver lining with everything that is going on with Congress, that the markets do go up or they go down. If they go down, AMC is a high candidate or highly likely candidate to see the short interest going up even more. Guys, imagine that, the short interest going up even more. Remember when we were freaking out about 17-18% short interest? Now we're looking at 21% with the share utilization at 87.87%, meaning there is plenty of shares that can still be sold short. Imagine that. Imagine we go to 25% short interest. I will I don't care if the share price goes down. As long as that short interest continues to go up, shorts are not covering. That is all that does matter. Now, I still think the short interest by the end of this week is likely to end around 22%, but we do have estimated shares that are sold short at 107.41 million. Short interest change for the day is positive 0.4%. Like I said, share utilization at 87.87%. And in my personal opinion, I want the share utilization to at least stay above 80%, but not go as high as, say, 95%. Remember back when the share utilization was about 95%, we didn't see a fluctuation in the short interest very much, right? Now we are actually seeing the short interest going up exponentially every couple of days, going up about 1%, because there is enough shares that are sold short, and shorts are taking advantage of that. Free flow on loan 22.69%, so I do expect that to go up as well. Now, the days to cover is going up 1.35% currently, 7 days ago at 1.22%. That just means that the average volume is going down, which is a good thing for the short squeeze, because this means it's harder for all of the shares to get covered in a rapid fashion. So that means you could see the share price going up one day, and then more shorts are trying to get out of their positions, but there's simply not enough shares to do so. So the higher the days to cover, relatively speaking, is a good thing for AMC as well. So everything from what we could tell from the Ortex data, considering this is accurate, if it is or not, this is very, very bullish. Now let's talk about the stock O tracker data, and obviously, just like every single video, nothing is happening really. Calls still at 8,000 for in the money, puts still at about 33,000 for in the money. So you're not seeing a lot of, shorting for hedging the puts. You're not seeing a lot of buying shares to hedge the calls. You're really not seeing a lot of anything. The next best chance we do have for a potential gamma squeeze is going to be January 21st, 2022. Next week is, or 2 weeks from now, October 15th is the monthly expiration date, and you are seeing a lot of calls that are out of the money, about 156,000, only about 11,000 calls that are in the money. If we do see a big boost to AMC share price, you could see some gamma squeeze activity, but I wouldn't expect anything too crazy until that January 21st, 2022 expiration week. Now, let's go over something that I kind of just want to talk about, because I did see these commercials actually last night on TV. So I think these commercials are going to prove to be pretty effective in, gathering people's attention back to AMC, because people are still itching to go out and do things, and to see these commercials, I don't know, I guess it was just a cool thing to see. I wasn't expecting it when it did come on. I think it's going to be highly effective, but he did say, hold on. And here's the third of our 30-second Nicole Kidman television commercials. These AMC Theater ads are one of many things we are going to back up by declaring that AMC was tired of just playing on defense. Thanks to monies raised in 2021, AMC is playing on offense again. Great thing to see. I mean, I don't know how much it's gonna cost to run these commercials, per time they're ran, but $25 million, that was the initial price they budgeted for all of this to run the commercials, etc., etc. So it's not going to hurt the bank at all. I think it's going to do a lot more positive than negative. And when it comes down to it, fundamentals of AMC do matter. Not necessarily for the short squeeze, but to see a lower potential bottom, fundamentals do matter a lot. And considering that is probably why we're seeing a lot of hedge funds and institutions buying AMC stock, because at this point, there's a lot more potential gain than potential loss by far, in my opinion. I think hedge funds are starting to see that, and they're going to get behind the apes, especially once the short squeeze does happen. So that is what you guys need to know. Watch the government shutdown situation, as well as you guys can watch and monitor the S&P 500, the SPY. Now, this orange line is the 100-day moving average. This blue line is the 50-day moving average. To get into bullish territory, we have to pass the 50-day moving average, really go to about I mean, you want to go above the 50-day quite substantially, which we did not really do over the past couple of days. Just briefly went above it and then came straight back down with this hard gap down, and that was obviously yesterday, going down about 2.02% to close the day. Now we're sitting at the lower end range of this 100-day moving average. If we do go under this 100-day moving average, you are likely to see a lot of trading algorithms start to sell stock, push the markets down a lot. So make sure you guys are watching that. That is going to impact AMC stock directly, as well as if we do go, like I said, above the 50-day moving average, really to about 447, then you're gonna get more bullish activity going back into the markets, potentially going to reach a new all-time high. But there's a lot of fear in the markets. There's a lot of things we have to get out of the way before an all-time high does happen, in my personal opinion. So just protect yourselves, be smart, know what it is, know what it's not. AMC, all we care about is the short interest going up and apes holding their conviction and holding on to their positions. So that is going to wrap up this video. Make sure to check out the links linked down below in the description if you guys want access to all of my trades in real time. Start winning on your options trades, as well as long-term investments with stock options and crypto, day trades, swing trades, long-term investments, passive income. We do it all over there. We keep it very inexpensive, so anybody is financially able to join. As well as if you guys want to directly support the channel, check out the links for free stock with Public and Webull. So with all of that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.